And welcome back to the Hot Lap. We are talking Lando Norris's redemption in Austria. Redemption twofold because, well, the Canadian Grand Prix is now history. And once again, Lando Norris is a Formula One winner. And they say you're only as good as your last race. And his last race, well, if he races like that between now and the end of the year, he'll probably be champion. That is a massive if, though. Also, this time last year in Austria, he didn't finish, did he? With Max Verstappen. So, the redemption is twofold. Well done. The Austrian Grand Prix winner, that is Lando Norris. And here's your top 10. So obviously Lando Norris scoring that win. Second, Piastri. Third, yes, Charles Leclerc, another podium. Lewis Hamilton didn't quite make it to his podium dream. He finished fourth. George Russell fifth, a long way back. We'll get into the timings in a bit. Sixth, Liam Lawson, and well done to him. Seventh, Fernando Alonso, his protege, followed home eighth, and driver of the race, Bortoleto. Ninth, Nico Hülkenberg, starting from last. 10th, Esteban Ocon. When we look at the times, well, Oscar Piastri, 2.7 seconds, thereabouts, behind Lando Norris. Leclerc, about 19 seconds. Hamilton, nearly 30. And then you need to look at another 32 seconds back for George Russell, the Canadian Grand Prix winner, over a minute and 2 seconds behind the McLaren winner of Lando Norris. Insane. Liam Lawson, the only other person that finished on that lap. No safety. Yeah, the safety car at the beginning, but other than that, as I grab my drink, there were no safety cars. So, next up, you've got Fernando Alonso, 7th, Gabriel Bortoleto, 8th, Nico Hülkenberg, 9th, and Esteban Ocon, 10th, the last point scorer. And then you have, dropping down the orders from 11th to bottom, you've got Oliver Bearman, Isaac Hadjar, Pierre Gasly, Lance Stroll, Franco Colapinto, Yuki Tsunoda. Indeed. And then D&S for Alex Albon, Max Verstappen, we'll certainly be talking about that, along with Kimi Antonelli, and Carlos Sainz, so hot he didn't even start. He was on fire, literally. First of all, massive well done to Stake F1, Team Sauber, Team Audi next year, whatever you want to call them, with Nico Hülkenberg starting at the back, finishing in the points. And this guy here, Gabriele Bortoleto, finishing in the points. But more significantly, his first points of the year. How amazing is that? Well done, Gabriele. I mean, fantastic. Now, incidentally, this is young Gabriele Bortoleto here with Felipe Massa. And the reason why Autosport has tweeted this, Gabriele Bortoleto, he is the first Brazilian to score points in F1 since Felipe Massa 8 years ago. That when Felipe wasn't a Williams, that's very much Ferrari. But yeah, look at the little face. Well done. So Fernando, though, being the first to congratulate Gabriele Bortoleto. Look at that. It's lovely to see, isn't it? Manager and managee. As you don't know, he manages Gabriele Bortoleto, but they're both very happy. And very Senna-esque, isn't it, his helmet? Gabriele's really nice touching moment there. A really good race between the two of them. Alonso ended up finishing ahead. But this guy, best of the rest. Who knew that a racing bull would be best of the rest? No Isaac Hadjar. It is Liam Lawson. I know, you're shocked. I'm shocked, but congratulations. We said in the preview that Liam Lawson needed to have a good result, and a good result he did have by finishing 6th. Best result of his career so far. So massive congratulations to Liam. Hopefully that will put the naysayers away for at least the next few races, including us, because we've been saying what is going on with Liam Lawson. So I'm really happy there. But let's talk about what we're not happy about. And this is Colapinto here, essentially trying to push off the guy in second place. He said it, I just didn't see him. Okay, fair enough. Is that going to be an excuse? Probably not. Well, you know, if he ended up pushing Piastri out of the race, but Piastri taking to the grass again, like Leclerc, being a very expensive lawnmower. Heart in the mouth stuff. But if that was heart in the mouth stuff, we've got this at the beginning of the race. Here we go. So as they're all coming up, we have a Kimi Antonelli torpedoing Max Verstappen and himself out of the race. Here we go again. You'll see it here. They'll take a long shot. So, Kimi Antonelli, he has just come out behind these two. He's kind of like lost it, locked up, and like, oh no, just like you would in the game, smash. And I think for good measure, he ended up hitting one of the racing balls as well, which is, you know, I mean, it's just look at that. It's just absolute disaster. There they are, talking to each other. Luckily, they're friendly, but, you know, Max is resigned to the fact that he's probably not winning the championship. Goodish, boink. Yeah. Taking them both out of the race. Really, really sad. Right in front of the Max Verstappen stand as well. which really, really sucked for them. Max gave them the good wave. I feel sorry for them. They paid good money to go there, only to see their racing go out of the first, well, the first lap, not even do a first lap, but the first third of the lap, the first sector. I'm so sorry. We still got a good race though. But Antonelli has been given a 3-place grid penalty for Silverstone for that transgression. Let's look at that one more time, shall we? 3-second grid penalty for basically deciding to long dart Max Verstappen. Boink. Yeah. Deservedly so as well. Can't really argue that at all, can we? So this was then another near long dart torpedo moment. Both McLaren drivers were so close. Piastri remained in the DRS zone and harassed Lando Norris all the way up until lap 20, the first pit stop out of 70. And this was the moment. Yes, if you think you look close, you should check this one out here. Trying to outbrake him. I mean, look at that. We are talking less than half a metre. Probably like a 30-centimetre ruler would probably be able to gauge the distance between those two cars. Imagine if Piastri had hit Lando Norris out. That would make a very different looking World Championship now, wouldn't it? And also, what would that do for their relationship? But luckily he didn't. McLaren were like, please don't do that again. Which, to be fair to Oski, he did hold his hand up. That was a bit silly. Bit of a desperate lunge. Could have gone very, very wrong. But at least McLaren have let them race, which is good. So, and on to those, each of the teams. I'm trying to headbutt the straw here. So, a double podium for McLaren, as we know, first and second. Absolutely brilliant. Lando Norris. He's now a man redeemed, I think, after his Canada whoops-a-daisy, scoring no points. I mean, slapping all our heads. What are you doing, Lando Norris? To now being a Grand Prix winner, and the first time these two have had a decent fight against each other, Lando Norris comes away with the win, which psychologically must be doing gangbusters for him, especially going into his home race at Silverstone next week. Well, I'm really looking forward to it, but well done. Oscar Piastri tried his best, and to be fair to Oscar, he looked, since practice FP2, not quite as fast as Lando, nearly. And he caught up with him. At one point he was like 1.3 seconds behind near the end of the race, where they're trying to get through the back markers. But to be fair to Lando, those back markers were really holding him up. That's how Piastri was able to gain on him. But you felt Lando needed this, and what a massive confidence boost it is. Just don't go wasting it all at Silverstone, Lando, please. P3 and P4 for Ferrari. Those upgrades probably working. They were the second fastest car here. Obviously, we don't know about the Max Verstappen factor, but I still think Leclerc probably would have finished on the podium. Max maybe there whereabouts Lewis Hamilton was, because he wasn't particularly happy, was he? But well done, Charles Leclerc, another podium. Yeah, that's the best they can get. Now, George Russell, this amazed me. I mean, George Russell has gone from winning the Canadian Grand Prix to being over a minute down on the winner. The cars he beat, incidentally, at the Canadian Grand Prix. Yes, it was very hot at the Red Bull Ring. I don't think it's going to be as hot as Silverstone, but it's really interesting, isn't it? How susceptible this Mercedes is to weather, and I think today in Austria was very much proof of it. So moving on from that, we've got a P6 for Liam Lawson, which was absolutely chef's kiss. Fantastic. Best result so far of the year. I cannot tell you how happy I am for Liam. Isaac Hadjar P12, we will be disappointed. But yeah, we still think you're awesome. I think double points, as we've already mentioned, from the Stake F1/Sauber team. Absolutely perfection. Well done, Hulkenberg. I mean, this is as good as a win as I see coming back from P20. And Bortoleto, looking good since qualifying all the weekend. Looking like he's got P7 for Fernando Alonso. P14, finishing 7 places behind Alonso, was Lance Stroll. This is more like it, Alonso. This is more like it, Stroll. At the beginning of the year, you almost looked like a half-decent Formula 1 driver, but now you're back to being Lance Stroll. But to be fair to Fernando Alonso, P7, I think it's solid. About as good as he was going to get, and a really good battle with Bortoleto. Now, Williams, they said here, and I completely, it's tough, isn't it? A tough take in Austria. Both cars ended up retiring. Carlos, rear brake issue. Alex had an issue that they need to investigate, forcing him to finish. They said they're going to pick ourselves up and head on to Silverstone, their home race, which could be quite interesting. Here we go. Race result, P10, P11 for Esteban Ocon and Ollie Berman. I think that's fairly solid for Haas. Nice one, Ocon. Well done for scoring points. Massive thumbs up there. And P16 for Yuki Tsunoda, DNF for Max. Now, what I do want to talk about is Yuki Tsunoda. And Ted Kravitz made a really interesting point that I kind of seen, maybe overlooked a tiny bit, but he basically said, look, there's no way Yuki is that slow. We know how good Yuki was in the Toro Rosso AlphaTauri Racing Bulls, in the sister junior Red Bull team. We know how good Yuki was. There is a problem with that second car at Red Bull, because we know Yuki would have been up there probably today in the Racing Bulls. And I completely agree. Yes, there is a problem with that second Red Bull. I keep saying, people sometimes deny it, they've clearly built a car centered around Max Verstappen's driving style, which makes sense. He is your star driver. He's the one getting you the results. If you hadn't built that car around Max Verstappen, he wouldn't have won the races this year, I don't think. But then Red Bull, somehow they just don't want to admit it. But yeah, I completely agree with what Ted Kravitz said. So these are the driver standings. And Piastri's leading by 216. He's only leading by 15 points now from Lando Norris on 201. Verstappen now a good 60-odd points behind. Russell 146 and Verstappen's 155 and Leclerc 119. Hamilton on 91. They have Kimi Antonelli on 63 in 7th. Albon, best of the rest, on 42 in 8th. Ocon in 9th and 23. And yeah, that is a kick Sauber in the top 10 with Hulkenberg on 22 points in 10th. Then we've got Hadjar, Stroll, Alonso. Alonso now equaling Lance Stroll's points. Sainz and Lawson. Gasly and Tsunoda, that's 16th and 17th. Behrman in 18th. Bortoleto finally gets off the board in 19th. Colapinto and Doohan, I guess you can mix and match them. They're about exactly the same, aren't they? Because they are on nil point. In terms of the team championship, McLaren taking another step towards that Constructors title on 470, nearly double the points that Ferrari have. Ferrari on 210. Mercedes on 209, well ahead of Red Bull on 162, all because of that second Red Bull car. Williams best the rest in 5th on 55. Red Bull's in 6th and 3rd on 36. Haas on 29 points in 7th. Aston Martin in 8th on 28. It's really close. And 9th, Kick Sauber. So you've got Aston Martin, Haas and Kick Sauber all within 3 points of each other. And Alpine last on 11. But congratulations to Lando Norris on a very well-deserved win. We will speak to you soon. If you made it to the end, that's more than enough for us. But if you want to do that a bit more, give us a subscribe. That'll be absolutely amazing. Now give us a smile. If you are already subscribed, you just watching this is more than enough for us. More action next week. We'll have our 60-second driver review at some point. Obviously, our Silverstone review, probably an Austria fallout, and we'll speak to you soon. Thank you very much, and stay safe.